Hi everyone, Patricia here, your dynamic art teacher from Pear and Paper Street. How you doing tonight? It is 7 o'clock. It is Thursday, which means it is time to make stuff. I hope you are in the mood to make stuff. I'm really excited about this tutorial. I love making journals. I especially like to make little tiny journals using up stuff that I have around the house, stuff that, papers I just made. I made some homemade washi tape. I can't wait to use that. So I just want to say hello and thanks for joining in. While we're getting supplies and waiting for people to join, I can show you a few of the journals that I have made, and then we will talk about the journals we'll be making tonight. I'm going to teach you three. You probably have seen these before. Three different ways you can make quick journals. You can do these any size. I just happen to like sizes that, maybe like this big, a little bit smaller, a little bigger. I do have other journals I made that are bigger, but they seem too hard to work in, and I feel like I struggle with what to put in them. But these kind of just take care of themselves. They kind of make themselves. So, before I go any further, last week was so much fun. We painted papers, and although the papers I made during the tutorial didn't turn out like exactly the way I wanted them, I continued to work and I made some that are absolutely stunning. And I wanted to share a few just to give you some more ideas, maybe to inspire you and to prove that I can paint papers. No, I'm just kidding. So I'll show you a few of those papers. I do have a nice system I worked out today. So pretty much everything I need will be right here and right here. So I don't have to get up and move around the room, which is always a blessing. So last week we painted on copy papers, cardstock, coffee dyed papers, brown paper bags. But I'm just going to show you a few of my absolute favorites while we're waiting for friends to join. And then I'll go over the supply list. And then we'll just start making this. Like I said, this is going to be very easy, very beginner friendly, and extremely inexpensive, practically free, because I do know you have this stuff around your house. So last week, this is one of my favorites. I used like an old credit card and I scraped paint, and then I went back in and I stamped on it in this awesome stamp I've never used. I've had it for years. It was fun pulling out stamps I haven't used in a long time. This is one of my first stamps that I've ever purchased. It came in a set, and that had to be at least some odd 30 odd years ago. This I scraped painted, and then I took like a vinyl placemat and I inked it up with black paint and put it on top. And this one, I wish you could see it in person. These are so bright. They're so yummy. I know that's a strange word, but if you could see them. And this was just a runoff paper from my jelly plate and a stencil. And again, this was the placemat that I used. And then I discovered something awesome. The other day, this is more placemats, I picked up, it's over there, so I can't reach it, but I picked up a vinyl placemat. Hi, Sharon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're ready to make some journals or whatever you're up to. I'm so excited about tonight. Thanks for joining. So I was at Dollar Tree, and I bought a placemat, a vinyl placemat in the shape of a pineapple. Here's some stars in the shape of a pineapple. And I knew once I put paint on that, it was going to be fantastic. Yeah, so these are some of the ones I made the other night. And I will show you, believe this or not, this is an inked up pineapple placemat. How amazing is that? I just can't even handle it. It's so fun. I love that the art room is always a new discovery from day to day. It's never the same. This one I just threw some ink on. It looks a little hectic. And yeah, this I just threw some ink on. Yeah, so those are just a few. But the pineapple one, and I actually went back in, and they're not on top, which is unfortunate. I actually I stamped them on top of envelopes. So now I can use the envelopes when I send a letter. So yeah, so those are some of the papers that we painted. I might use some of these tonight. Probably not, because when I make my little journals, I really enjoy using brown paper grocery bags and coffee dyed papers. And pretty much the same stamps and kind of the same 3 or 4 colors, because like I mentioned before, it's all cohesive, and I could jump from one journal to the next, not worry about, oh, there's too many greens in this or there's too many yellows in this. It's always like teal, magenta, copper or gold, black and white, sometimes mustard, like the color of my dress. Very nice color. So that's that. So that's the papers we did last week. Right now I'll give you the supply list. I didn't write it down, but it's really easy, and I can show you what I have. So you're going to need papers to use for the cover of your journal, and you're going to need papers to use inside your journal. So the covers I have for my journal today, I pulled out a few different ones. I'll show you this. This is just a piece of cardboard. I think it's from an Amazon package. I didn't realize that till I pulled it out. And what I want to do is I want to cut this down a little bit smaller, and this is going to be one of the journal covers. So when I say cover, I'm not talking about the decoration. We might get to decoration today. We will definitely get to decoration next week when I teach you some other things to go with these awesome little journals. So the cover. So this is one of my covers, and this is the corrugated cardboard. Another one of my covers is this was, remember when we talked about masterboards? This was a piece of paper that I glued all these scraps on, kind of like a masterboard. And it has the coffee dyed paper. So this is going to be another cover. And the last cover, this is just fun. I've had this piece of paper for years. It's one of those pieces of paper you can use for blotting or while you're painting. Oh, hold on. I hope you're in the mood to make stuff. Sorry. Mute. Okay, there we go. So this was like a blotter paper. And I've had this for, I mean, if I look at the stamps on here, I've had this for so many years. And I pulled this out, and I can cut this down and make this a journal cover as well. Okay, so now we have the journal covers. Now I will ask you to look for, and I bet you have these things. I'll put this down here. Papers to go inside. So when I do, the one I made today, my cover was a piece of, oh, there's that. I wanted to show you. That's what I want to show you. Hold on. A piece of scrap paper, kind of thick, and it's sturdy enough to be a cover. So this was one of my covers for my journals today. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is something I just stamped on, like really thick cardstock. By the way, here are those pineapple envelopes. How cool is that? Okay, so cover. So my cover today, I used one of those pieces of the cardstock. This, okay? Insides, I like to use coffee dyed papers, anything that I stamped on, old book pages. So I have right here, I have a whole bin of coffee dyed papers. I coffee dyed copy papers, graph papers, old music pages. This is like French words out of an art book. So it's kind of cool. I mean, everything like old receipt book pages. They can be as pretty or as messy as you want. So I have those. I also have a bin of my favorite bin of papers. If I were to pick a favorite, this would be it. This is my coffee dyed papers that I went back and stamped on. That's one of my homemade stamps, the spiral. I love it. This is one of my new, oh, that's kind of fun, coffee stamps. And this is the one I just showed you, the stamp I pulled out that I never used before. Look how cool that is. Isn't that neat? So this is coffee dyed paper that's stamped. That's another alternative. What else did I have over here? So those are for inside coffee. Oh, book pages. So these are book pages that are stamped on, painted and stamped on. These are fun. They can face any direction. Oop. The words don't have to be up and down. They can be, you know, upside down, sideways, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So those are some of those. And also in this, I have, yesterday I was just having fun painting shapes on like this torn up piece of, I don't know, Walmart bag or Dollar Tree. And this one I accidentally painted on it and it says Walmart. So I'm just going to not use that piece. And this might make a good cover as well. This is a runoff piece of grocery bag. Like when I cleaned off my brayer, this might make a nice cover, but I've already picked my covers for tonight. Yeah. And so there's all kinds of stamp bags. So we have bags for covers and inserts. We have coffee paper, copy paper. You can use magazines. You can use newspapers, lunch bags, calendars. I'm trying to think of things you have around the house that we might have around the house. Junk mail. I've seen people use, like, especially if you get like one of those longer postcards and it's kind of shiny and thick, you can use one of those. You can always paint over it or glue a cover on it. And like I said, I have a bunch of just fun stamped. This is, I have a bin of scraps that are all about the same size. These are left over when I was making my golden book journals, and I had to cut paper down to a very specific size. And I have like hundreds of pieces of paper, and I didn't want to throw it away. So I have them separated in a bin behind me on the floor. And every now and again, I pull them out and I just random stamp all over them or splash paint on them. And I have them ready for, I wish I had that one next to me, but I don't. And I have them ready for projects like this or making bookmarks or anything like that. Okay, so you're going to need, let me double check. You're going to need glue, scissors. If you have a stapler, great. Washi tape or masking tape or any kind of tape, really. You don't have to have fancy tape at all. Um, excuse the ums. Elastic cord is going to be one of our methods to bind. We're going to use elastic cord for one, tape for one, and a stapler for another. You might want to get scissors and glue. You might want to get a ruler for not only measuring, but also for when we tear our papers. This really helps hold it down. It can be wood, it can be plastic. You just have to make sure you push on it really hard when we're using it. If you have a paper slicer, you don't need one, but you can definitely use one. You want to get some binder clips or paper, like thicker paper clips. So when you're, I'll show you. Here we go. So when you're putting your journal together and you're tying it or stapling it, you can have the pages kind of stuck together so they're not going all, awry and out of place. So, and then if you have any markers, paints, stamps, jelly stuff that you might want to work in your book, we're probably not going to get to the point of working in it. I also have things ready for the covers. This is so fun. So everything I have is stuff that I taught you on this channel so far. So you can always go back and look at the other, look at the other tutorials. This is my bin of all the stuff that we've made together on this channel. Excuse me. This is all of the flower clusters. Remember we made those? All the flower clusters, all of the animal clusters. I have some of the, those are photographs. Woohoo! Some of the master boards that we did. I really like the master boards. I might leave that one out. Where's the other one? I'm sure. Oh, I have so many. Oh, then I have like word birds. I'll teach you those another day. We have like paper snippets. This is from a roll of brown tape, and I just attached snippets left over from projects. So these are fun. What else do we have in here? Let me put this one on the floor here on my new little cart, and I will show you. Oh yeah, so look at, I put one of my clusters on this book. It's a book for, gluing down like leftover scraps. You can use it in a project later or just leave it. I just kind of like looking back and seeing all the different papers that I made. So this is that book. And then today, when I had little pieces of washi tape that I wasn't using that I tore off, like remnants, I put it in here. And this is, I did this in one of my shorts. This is a paper snippet bookmark with a really cool dress. I think that's a panda. I'm not sure though. Could be a panda or a raccoon. I have no idea. Doesn't really matter. And I also have a bin. You might think I'm crazy, and that's okay. Of strips of tiny papers as I'm working, and I tear them off and I throw them in here. Sometimes I use them like this. I might use because it has a little stamp on it. I might not, but it's there. So I leave that there. Okay. So we went over all the supplies. I hope you had a chance to get some supplies. Oh, thanks, Sharon. She said something was pretty. I don't know what it was, but thank you. I pulled out some, I don't know, I just pulled out some photos I used to take in my dad's garden back where I grew up. And I thought I might use them, but I'm not really feeling it right now. But I do like this. This is one of the latest masterboard creations with the little frog and the mushrooms. Very encouraging. Then again, my journals I want to make are a little bit too small for these. So I think I might save these for another day. So we'll get these out of here. And I think we're ready to get started, if you can believe it. So do we have our supplies? I'm assuming that we do. And I'm assuming that we're ready because I'm so excited to teach you this. So let's get going. We have our supplies. Step number 2, we need to decide what we're going to use for our cover. Now, in my mind, I know what method I'm using for each cover. So that kind of helps me. And like I said earlier, by the time I get my supplies and get started, it takes about 20 minutes for me to create one of these journals. And you might already know how to do these, or you might be learning for the first time. It might take you a few minutes longer. You might be faster than me, but it's always good to know your time limit. So the first one I want to make is I want to make one that is going to be taped in. This is so cool, and I have to give credit where credit is due because I've seen on all the different channels how to make different journals and staples and the sewing and the non-sewing and this. But the other day, I don't know if I was going through YouTube and saw it on a short, but Ashley Coleman on Junk Journalista, I'd like to thank you for this idea. I give you full credit. I hope you don't mind that I'm sharing it tonight. She taped in her papers. So I will show you how to do this. It's so easy. Sorry for the glare. I've got the light right there. It's very dark in this room because the house is all wood floor, walls, and ceiling, so it takes a lot of lights, but how cool is that? And I use the same tape over and over again. You can use plain tape, washi tape. This, my friends, is going to be our next tutorial. That is my bin of, excuse me, papers. Here we go. This is my big bin of homemade washi tape. Now, washi tape, I think it's like Japanese painted tape or something like that. We don't necessarily have to know the term, but I also have little fabrics in here, coffee dyed fabrics. We'll use those later. So this is a sheet of masking tape that I use homemade stamps and paint. And I just repeated the stamps. And then I originally had these on wax paper and I pulled them off. And I have these old transparencies from where I used to teach. And they have like words on them. What am I going to use them for? So then I pulled them off the wax paper and then put them on here. So it makes them a little bit more sturdy. So I've got the pink and the teal. These are homemade stamps, trees and stars. This one I love. It's little bees. And this one is fun. This is like old-timey stamps with cars and clocks. I think I got those at the Dollar Tree. More homemade. Let me see. Oh, this one's a lot of fun. This one is butterflies and dragonflies. And of course, we know how much I love coffee. These are coffees. And I love how they can be all different directions. I didn't stamp them all in the same direction. So no matter what direction you use them in their journal, they'll be right side up. This one is birds. And I went back in with some ink over top of it. Not a big fan of the pastel, but the birds are kind of cool. And oops, excuse me. And this one is like stamps, like first class and like the different seals and everything. And I think the last one is just a stamp I've had for years. It's just daisies. So when I go to make this tape and journal, I'm going to pick one tape design to keep it cohesive. It takes about all of this tape, like how many, 6, 7 pieces of this tape to complete a book, like, and have little pieces left over. So you're not, do I want to do coffee? What do you think, guys? Should we do coffee tonight? Sure. I don't know. Okay. Let me think for a second. I don't have enough of those. I don't have enough of those. Yeah, I think I'm going to skip the colors. I do have some bubble wrap ones, but not enough. So let's stick with coffee. Let's just not make this too difficult. Okay, so I've got my tape. I've got my cover. I want to make this a little bit smaller. I don't know how big this is. It's probably, 5 by something. Let's see. It is, 7 by 4. I'm going to take 2 inches off. How's that sound? So you can use your paper slicer. You can just draw a line. I'm just going to draw a line and cut it because the paper slicer you have to keep going through over and over again. So what did I say I want this to be? Take 2 inches off. So let me measure this out. Hope you're all having a good night. What am I doing? Okay, 9. Okay. Yeah, let's just make it 4 by 5. Why not? Do I have a pencil? Yes, I do. 4 by 5. And then I'm just going to draw a line across. Hopefully it'll come out straight, nice and even and straight. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the camera down so you can see what my hands are doing. You don't need to see my wonderfully messy hair. You can let me cut this off and then I'll do the demonstration. Someone gave me these scissors the other day and they are like so sharp and so nice. And they're nice and long. Okay, isn't that a fun noise? Here we go. There's my cover. Pretty straight. And I'm going to save this because you can use this as a stamp later on. So I'm going to put this down there. I'm going to move the camera down and hopefully I can keep this in order without going too fast. So step number 1, we got our cover. Well, step number 2. Now we're going to decide the paper. So let me move you down. There you go. Welcome, welcome. Here's okay, we can see everything. Okay, so we have the cover. We're going to decorate this later, so don't worry about, excuse me. Sorry, everybody. So don't worry about what's going on right now. So I have this. Now I want to decide my papers. And I know for a fact that because it's coffee, why not do coffee dyed papers? I think that would be really nice. So let's get these out of the way. And I'm just going to randomly pick a few pieces. This one looks like it's ready to fall apart, so I'm not going to pick this one. I do like the music. I do like these words. You guys don't need to be here right now. Let's get this out of the way. I do like, oh my goodness, I think we need to use this brand new one that I just made. We'll use some of that. And look at coffee stamp. Why not use some of that? I don't want it all to be the same exact color. I mean, the same shade of brown, the coffee. But let's see what we have so far. A couple more pieces. No, I don't want to use that. Let's see. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Let's use this one. Oh, there's a calendar. I love the calendar pages. These are fun too. We'll use one of those. And last but not least, we'll use this. So let's count how many papers. I think anywhere between like 5 to 10 papers is good. You don't want to get it too bulky. You'll have a hard time getting it to shut. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like the count 4, 5. Okay, we have 6. That's good. And then, so what we're going to do is decide what we want our first piece to be. And I think I want to be very dramatic. And right when you open the book, I think I want this to be my first piece. You can always decide this later. I'm just going to decide it now. So if I fold it like this, and I try to get it just about right, you want it to be a little bit shorter than the cover. Always give yourself, let me move these out of the way. Always give yourself a little bit of room, some wiggle room, okay? So if I hold this up here and I go like that, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to be tearing mine with the ruler. I'm not going to tear it, this way because it gets a little too wonky and the edges get a little bit too ragged. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold this down. And you'll notice we have a lot of paper left over. We can do 2 of these pages, or we can just put it aside for later. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this ruler down. And I'm going to hold it nice and tight. And I'm going to try to line it up. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you want to do your best. That's all that matters, is do your best. And if we make a mistake, that is okay. Now this one I'm going to put over here. Now I need to decide, okay, how tall do I want it to be? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move it down a little bit so I have a little bit of room at the top. You don't want it to come off the edge. I mean, you can. Some of my journals have, they're all, higher or lower, or longer, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But this one I want to try to keep pretty concise. And then I'll put my ruler here. Make sure I hold it nice and tight. Oh, here's the bend, by the way. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to hold this down. And I'm going to go ahead. You can tear it either direction, toward you or away from you. I'm just going to go like this. There you go. So we have our first page. Pretty cool, huh? I'll move this over here. Then we're just going to repeat with the other papers. So this one we already used. We'll use the book page. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. I wish you could see this. And by the way, it smells really good in here. I can use this as a template, by the way. I don't have to keep using my lid. My cover. Okay, so let's just fold this guy down. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I just go. I just keep moving. I'm not going to sit here and try to rethink everything. This one's a little bit wider. I don't mind. We're going to put it right there, and I'm going to go ahead and tear that. Yeah, so we should be able to get this one done and at least one other one. This is my new fave, by the way. Thank you, Ashley, for this idea. As many of journals as I made, this might be my absolute favorite method because I really love using the tapes that I make, and I really love simple, quick and easy. Ta-da, there you go. There's another one. How about we put these over here? Oh, yeah, let's try this guy. This is fun. I hope you're having fun. I hope you like this kind of stuff. I wish that you had like smell-o-vision and texture vision because this feels awesome and it smells awesome, especially like the little wrinkles in there. So what are we going to do? Let's go this way. And do I want to try to capture one whole cup? Yes. Let's mess around here and see if we can capture one whole cup. So is everyone having a good day? It was really nice out today. I was inside enjoying making, prepping for this. Tomorrow, if it's nice, I wouldn't mind getting some fresh air. I really need to clean up my room, though, because I keep making things and then just kind of like piling things up and not putting it away, which isn't very adult-like of me. But hey, I've never been accused of being an adult, so why start now, right? Okay. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, let's get this all in the right spot here. Yeah, and if you like to do like journals, you can always spend a few minutes a day or a few minutes a week just stamping papers, dyeing papers, collecting papers. Have a little basket that you keep things in. And then when you go to make something, you have everything ready and you don't have to like keep thinking about everything. Sometimes it's just the thinking about everything that gets so exhausting. How am I going to do this one? Let me think for a second. Okay. Speaking of thinking, I got to make sure there's enough paper here. Okay, let's move this over here. And like all these little pieces that I tear off, I'm probably going to put over here in my little bin. And I might use those later on to make another journal cover or something. Okay, let's see where we are here. Okay, we're going to go down here because I don't want all this white. So I'm going to kind of line it up right here. Okay. And when we go to add these, they might be shorter or longer, and that's okay. This is just having a good baseline. I don't mind if things hang over a little bit. We'll do this one right here. There we go. Awesome. Whoops. I don't have any fingernails. It's hard to lift stuff up. Whoops. There we go. And last one. Oh my goodness, this is so fun. I could do this all night long. But I probably should clean up dinner and not spend eternity in here. It's so hard not to want to spend eternity in here. This is my happy place. How many? Oh, we have 2 pieces left. This is fun. This came out of a calendar. I kind of like the coffee splatters on that. I'm going to turn it so I can have some of this. I really like the spiral edging that was torn off. I really like that. So I'm going to turn it so I can use part of that. So I got to think for a second. So it'll be on the back. Okay, there we go. Oh, cool. Oh, please tell me it's the right width. Almost. Go down a little bit. I want to leave these days of the week on there too. That's fun. And I like the lines. Cool. We can make this work, everybody. We're going to make it work. All right, so first we'll make it this way. Give it a little bit of wiggle room there. Have any of you ever made journals before? If so, what kind of journals do you like to make? Let me know in the comments. If you like grungy journals, junky journals. Oh, I did this wrong. You know what? I'm going to leave this one long because I can. Because I really want to have that. Well, you know what? No, I won't. I'm going to just fold it a little bit more. There we go. I'll just fold it. Let me check on this side. I'll check on this side. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I do love making the grungy. Most everything, like I said, has the coffee paper in it. Same kind of color schemes. Oh, look at us go. All right. This one will save. This one will save. And I have one more piece. And this is just plain old coffee dyed paper that I let rest on. You can see up here the like some kind of vinyl placemat. It looks like teardrops. So this one, yeah, I don't really want sharp edges or rough edges. So see how quick and easy it is. Fold, tear, fold, tear. It's pretty much the gist of it with this one. For all of them, actually. If you want to be super particular, you can go ahead and measure things. Yeah, Sharon says she lives to create. Oh, to-do list journals. That sounds fun. Yeah, I read someone or heard like a motivational speaker. And, oh, I remember who it was. And it was, hold on a second, decorating pages. Oh, that sounds awesome, Sharon. An old planner, right? And he has like a composition book for things he wants to do. And then like, I don't know, at the end of the night, he writes down how his day went or something. And I try to do stuff like that. And I never really keep up. I get up in the morning and I journal to kind of, do like a little brain dump. And I've done it where I've written down art projects that I want to do, but it just makes me kind of anxious and like almost manic. So I don't write down too many ideas because then when I go back and read them, they don't sound the same as when I first wrote them. So I don't really understand what I meant. So, okay. Ooh, do I have enough pieces of tape? Let me see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6. We have 1. I might do every other and then I'll bring in another one. Let me grab, okay, I'm so glad these are all sorted out here. Let me go ahead and grab, well, let's not lose the journal that we're using. You know what? I might do bees. I like bees and coffee. So okay, now these are going to be for later. So I'll put you right there. You live over there. You go back to your home. Okay, now these I'll put back in my coffee painted bucket. Oh, Patricia, why have you not used this yet? Hold on. I might have to add one more page. Look at how cute this is. Should we add it? What do you think? Oh, I don't know. It's probably going to clash with the tape because the tape is the same. We'll save this for another idea. Okay, you go back home. Let me take a sip of my tea. Does anyone have anything fun to drink today? I have hot tea, which isn't hot anymore, but I don't mind. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. What? Yeah. Is that for when you're doing houses? Like, what needs done and what you're working on now? Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. Okay, I'll put you over there. There we go. All right. We have our cover. Let's check where we are, everybody. So we have our cover, check. We have our papers, check. Oh, look at how pretty that's going to be. Ta-da! We're off to a good start. You can always decorate the inside of this. I'm wondering if I should. I don't mind it just plain. I can go back in later and I might do that later. Go back in and add something in the front and the back. I don't want it too bulky. I mean, I could very well take off this tiny little piece of whatever that is, leftover logo or whatever, but I'm just going to leave it for now. I don't want to overthink it. Okay. So step 1, we got our supply. Step 2, what are we using for our cover? Step 3, we have our pages. Step 4, we tore them out. And now we're on assemble. Okay. So this is the tape method. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick out the order of our papers. Okay. Once you decide, you're it. Like, you just got to put them together. So I don't want to have too much print next door. This is kind of repetitive, but it would be nice if I switched off and went print, plain, print, plain, print, plain. Now I have to decide, what do I want my first page to be? This is nice, but I'm sorry you're seeing it backwards. But for my first page, I want something to kind of jump out at me and say, woohoo, this is going to be a great journal. Or you can leave this plain and write journal on the front or whatever you want to write. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do bold to begin with. And then I'm going to stick this guy inside that. So I have a bold print. And then I have just the book page. Open that up. So now we need another bold print. And I think I'll use this one. Now, music paper, I always have to check because I don't understand the notes and I make sure that the numbers are up and like go in the right direction. Okay, now I have a bold print. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do more plain, no print. Now I'm going to go back and do a bold print. And yay, my coffee cup. I actually have some that's kind of, facing the right direction. And then the last page is going to be, please be in the right direction. Oh, yes, this is great. This one's going to be facing the right direction. So cool. Now you can notice that some of these edges are going to stick out. The reason they stick out is because you lose some room every time you put it inside this little binding. If they're stacked on top of one another, they're all going to be the same height and length. I don't mind that they stick out a little bit. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Okay, now I'm going to stick it in here. And for the most part, oh, genius. Look at that. They fit. Are we ready for the first step? I'm going to do this upside down so you can see it. What I want to do is make sure they're all lined up where I want them. Then I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And I'm going to take one of these little clips. I'm going to go ahead and you only need like one little one to clip it in place. You can also use the, what do you call it? Like the bulldog clips, binder clips. Okay, that's number 1. Now I need to decide. I'm almost thinking that these patterns are too busy and I could use just plain masking tape, but I'm not going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. I'm just going to stick with what I have and move forward. Plus I like the coffee theme and the bee theme. So I'm going to start with this coffee one. Now, when you're pulling this off of the surface that you have it on, the longer it's stuck to that surface, when you go to pull it off, it's going to want to curl in on itself. So go slow and don't fret if it curls on itself. You should still be able to use part of it. And like I said, the rest, if I have a little accident or a piece is too short, I just go ahead and I put it in my fun book over here. So go ahead and I'm going to go nice and slow. And it's going to curl up a little bit, but I'm going to be patient. Now I'm going to decide, here's my tape. And I think I want to put it in this way because a lot of the prints are facing right side. So I'm going to take my scissors. See how it curled up a little bit? It's okay. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut down the top. I'm going to put this, open my book page over here. I'll keep this over here so you can know what I'm doing. And I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my book. So this is Like I said, the book that I put my leftover tape pieces in. And it might sound silly, but when you go back and you see this page, it just makes me smile for some reason. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Move this out of the way. Okay. So we have this trimmed at the top because I want it to be nice and even. Oh my goodness, Patricia, seriously. I should just stick it to my hand. That's a good idea. Hold on. Are you serious right now? Oh my goodness. Everything I teach you is like, yeah, right. You're like, yeah, right. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to go ahead, and I don't want it to be taller than the paper that's in there. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it right there. Try to keep it nice and straight without any bubbles, any warps. And then when I get down to the bottom, you want to cut it off before you get to the bottom. You don't want it sticking to the page underneath. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get my little scissors for this. I'm going to kind of eyeball it right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut right about there. And I'm going to take the edge of my scissors. I don't want to tear it, but I kind of just want to make sure it's in there on that crease. See that? We got our first page in. How cool is that? And that's once we go through and put them all in, they will not fall out. These are really sturdy. Sometimes washi tape can be, what's the word? It doesn't stick forever. So if you're using washi tape, or maybe even this tape, you can always go and put a little bit of, like, this is really sticky, but you can run some glue stick down and then put it on. So this, I don't want to toss yet. I'm going to stick it right back here. Now I'm going to turn the page nice and slow. Going to unclip this guy, turn it nice and slow. Try to keep it all aligned, and then I'm going to put them right here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a B because I want to make sure I have enough. I didn't count, but I want to make sure I have enough tape. So I'm going to pull the B. Please tell me you're loving this. This is so much fun. Hold on. Oh, wind. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Sharon said when she had lots of orders around Christmas time, you have to keep a list. I remember when I was selling, usually around Christmas time, I just have like a little mini craft thing, and I sell tons of journals. Not these kind, but I'll demonstrate another type another day. But lots of journals, cards. Here we go. I flipped this over so I can see it face side up. Now I'm going to make sure I line it up as close to the middle as possible. Kind of smush it down as you go. And I don't want it to hang over the edge because it's going to tape these other papers together, which is not a good idea. Okay, let's get these in there. There we go. These are really nice scissors. I got them in a fun game the other night with my friends. There we go. Now this tape, I can still use it, so I'll put it there. Go ahead and use my scissors. Just kind of do a little crease. Awesome. Are you following this all right? Hope I'm not going too fast. Turn the page. Make sure everything's where it needs to be. I'm going to move this slowly because I don't want these pages to shift. Like I said, if they move a little bit, not a big deal. Okay, now we're at coffee B. Now we're on coffee. Let's get this pulled up here. I'm tempted to just cut it right now. I'm going to cut it while it's over here. And then stick it to my hand. I'll put it in the book in a minute. There we go. There we go. It's really not as difficult as I'm making it sound over here. Just having a mini battle. There we go. Put that right about there. Slide it down. Slide it down. All right. And if it gets a little crooked, it's okay. I'm not going to spend an hour making sure. Look at that. Put that back down there. Now you can use your scissors for the edge of this, which work fine. I also have one of these that came with, I've never used it, but this came with, I don't want to use this end because it'll tear the tape, by the way. Like if you go to push this into the crease, it's going to tear it. But if you use the round edge, that's fine. This came with, like, I went to a yard sale and I got a envelope making punch board. I've never used it, but it was only $1. So one of these days I would love to use these papers that I've dyed or even old calendar pages and make envelopes. But I have in my life way too many cards, way too many envelopes. So maybe one of these days we can make one of those little, oops, tuck you back in there. Maybe one of these days we can make, like envelope journals. Those are fun too. Now this up here is a little bit uneven from the bottom, but I don't care. I really don't mind. It's not stressing me out at all. Every now and again, I kind of want to push this over so it doesn't get, I don't want it to go over the crease. So I want it to be in the little crease right here. There we go. All right. So now I think it's B tape. We went Coffee bee, coffee bee. To be or not to be? That is our question tonight. And we're being creative. Here we go. Oh, look at the little bee. Boop. Put him in the book. Here we go. These are just adorable. Okay. Am I upside down? I gotta check. Where are we here, people? The music is correct. Okay, we're good. I'm upside down, you're right side up. I, as of right now, until I get a certain amount of followers / metrics and stuff, I cannot use my phone to make these videos. So until then, I am going to keep plugging forward here and using my laptop, which means I haven't learned how to zoom in yet, and I cannot do things right side up yet. So, but that is okay. I'd rather do this than nothing at all. Let's see if this is the right size before we cut down another one. Oh, how cute. It's going to match. It is the right size. So I'm going to put you in here. And the tape doesn't have to go all the way to the top. It can, go down a little bit. As long as it's centered. There we go. Oh, and there's a tiny little piece. Oops. Come on. There you go. Oh, look at how perfect that worked out. Put you in the book. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Now we're on B. We're getting there. I think we're cool. Now, I think this was the middle page. Which was the middle page? Now we're going. Oh, this is the middle page. Okay. So we're right. Almost done. Now we need a B. Dun. That's kind of loud, huh? I apologize for the sound effects over here. Put you over there. Here's the B. Yeah, this is one stamp that I just repeated. The other tape that I made in the papers that have all of the coffee images, for example, I figured out this ingenious method, and I don't know if I should tell you about it today or if I should hold it for a tutorial, because it's a way of putting all your stamps together and using them at the same time. And it just came to me one day and I thought, are you serious right now? Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. I don't need tape here, but I'm going to keep it consistent and put a piece of tape there because it's the middle. So after B, we do coffee. Oh, I think we have plenty. This is good. We have plenty of tape over here. Okay, I don't need this whole piece. I'm going to go ahead and trim it from here and save us a little bit of frustration. There we go. Of course, it's still rolled up because it's in its nature to roll up. That's what it does. It started off on a roll. It wants to end up on a roll. And we are on a roll. Get it? Oh, Patricia. I tell you. Here we go. Guess what, friends? Dun, 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 dun. Boop. We are flipping to the back. Now, when we're all done, I'll show you how to make it so it lies flat. Okay. So what are we on now? B? Yes, we're on B. Woohoo. Oh, time is flying. So yes, this is taking longer than 20 minutes, and that is fine because we've been chatting and collecting supplies. And I just wanted to make sure that you saw this method more than any of the other ones, because the other ones, like the staple one, is pretty straightforward. And then the one where you do kind of like a travel notebook where you just tie in with a cord, that's also, it's like the same thing, but you're just not using tape. You're just tying things in and stapling things in. So, but I can show you that real quick with just a couple pieces of paper. We don't need to build like a really big journal. But okay, let's make sure this is going to fold over. And I'm going to go ahead and push down and make sure it's, lying as flat as can be. So what do we do? B. Now we're on coffee. Yeah, I'm glad we're using two different tapes. Makes it more interesting that way. All right, I got to cut you off because you're crooked. Put you over there. Stay. Nope, not working. Hold on. There we go. All right, about how long are you? Oh, and it just so happens the coffee tape is on both sides of the coffee paper. That's kind of cool. That worked out unplanned. Okay, let's see what we got. I love this. I'm going to turn over because I love this little mug with the hearts in it. Oh, it's so cute. Have you ever gone to like a coffee shop and then gotten like a fancy drink and they do like a picture on top of it? I've never done that, but I used to have a espresso maker and I made a latte, and then I would try to draw a picture in the foam, but wasn't always successful. But We are almost done. Hope you're having fun. I actually don't need to clip it anymore because it's already put together. So now we need to be, oh, we might have just enough. Let's see how long this guy is. I think we've already cut into him. Let me trim this top here. Give him a little buzz cut. Okay, that was funny. I need everyone to comment how funny that was. Get it? A buzz cut? Ah, I should go on stage, people. I'm going to put these over here because they're annoying me. A buzz cut. No one's laughing. That's okay. I am my own best company. Hold on. The washi. Yeah, the washi is extra decoration. That's true. Coffee. Yeah, we're on coffee because I just gave it a buzz cut. That's never going to get old. Oh, no. I murdered this one. You'll be okay. Now, when I am done with all of these, the tape on these, I save these. I know what they're called. Give me a second. Oh my goodness. Overhead projector sheets. I save them to put more tape on, or when I make window card. Oh, that's another tutorial. When I make cards that have windows in them. I don't know if that makes sense. Which way is this guy going? He is not cooperating. Oh, that's like a little tea bag. That's cute. Okay, I'll put that in there. Anyways, yeah, so I use them for a few different ideas. I tend to use everything. Like, I have a lot of free stuff in here. I don't really use a lot of scrapbook paper. I try to. I have a lot. It just so happens, like the longer you do paper crafting, the more stuff you get. Either you buy it or you get as gifts or given to you or whatever. But there's nothing wrong with scrapbook paper. I really, really enjoy the process of making my own papers, dyeing my own papers. It's because it's kind of like, ooh, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, it's an experiment. And experimenting with paper is a lot of fun. All right, bees, I'm going to pull you from here because the ones down there are dark. I'm going to flip you around. Look at that. We had just enough. Good call on the two different kinds. All right, so let me trim the top off. A little buzz cut. I'm going to drive my husband crazy with that one. He'll hear me giggling. What are you laughing at? Buzz cut. I already talked to myself too much as it is. One more thing for him to worry about, right? Here we go. Oh, we have one more piece because I want to make it cohesive. Oh, this is getting nice and thick and chunky. I want to make it cohesive, so I'll put one more piece in the back. So that works out perfect. This is awesome. All right, I will use you. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Everything's getting stuck together. I'm going to get this out of the way because we're done with that one. One last piece of coffee tape, and then we'll... Oh, look how pretty that paper is. The binding is going to get a little wonky, but we're just going to force it back to where it should go, and then we'll be okay. All right, one last piece of tape. Might as well trim it while I'm down here. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go outside today, but I went out for a few minutes and, hung out with the dog. He gets so excited when I come outside. He just picks up his rope and he's like, hey, Ma, look what I got, He runs around all happy. He loves being out there. All the different smells in the springtime. The grass looks so pretty and the trees are pretty. All right, check it out. We have just completed our very first tape journal. So far this looks pretty good. Let me get these tools out of the way so we have some room to work here. Okay, get this out of the way. I don't need that. Okay. So I'm gonna flip it over and then I'm gonna just kind of give everything like a little, oh, did you hear that? And I almost ripped the tape. Give it just a little press down. It would be cool if this opened up and it laid flat. That would be nice. Do that. Oh, look at all these papers and the tape. This is probably this is the best day ever. Let me just say right there. And then look at this on the edge. How cool is that? Oh my goodness. I love seeing beauty in things that are like, you wouldn't think that's beautiful. Oh, it's a piece of scrap paper with, the spiral ring stuff torn off. But okay, now I'm going to kind of push this one down a little bit. See how it can lay pretty much open? And this paper is a little bit crooked, but I don't mind at all. This is fun. Yeah, and like the music books I got for free at a yard sale once. Pretty awesome. Now this little piece of tape down here is hanging over the edge. So I'm going to very carefully, without tearing everything, drum roll, hold on tight, people. I'm going to trim it off. because I don't want anything sticking together that should not be sticking together. Here we go. Give me a second. Minor little operation over here. We'll figure this out. This one might end up being a little crooked, but oh no, please don't rip my paper. We work so hard. Of course, I'm using a junky pair of scissors. Give me a second. This is all part of the process. All part of the process. Talk amongst yourselves. I might need to put another piece of tape on there because it's already losing some of its stickiness. It's not good enough. There we go. Got it. Okay, as long as it's not hanging over the edge. Cool. What do you think? Yeah, look at. And the cover didn't get too thick and weird. Like on this one, the cover turned a little. It's hard to see, but it kind of flattened out, so I had to kind of wiggle it around a little bit. Now, the next thing, we have all the pages in. We need to decide what we want to put on the cover. Okay. It could be something we already have. We can add a cover later, but I like to add something on the binding first, and then I do the cover. So that way the cover, it does, like the binding won't go over like whatever my image is. So what I'm going to do is I have, and I really like, sorry for saying, when I was stamping my papers, I also stamped some, this is just cotton that I tore up, soaked it in instant coffee water, and then rinsed it, wrung it out, hung it up to dry. It dries almost instantly because that's so thin. And then I stamped on it with black paint and homemade stamps. All the stamps I use generally for this are homemade or bubble wrap. So, excuse me, this one has bubble wrap on it. I don't have, this one I like, but some of it's faded, and I don't know if that is going to bug me later on. So I don't want to do something that might bug me later on. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use this because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So we'll get these out of the way. We are rolling right along. Let me see what time it is. Oh yeah, we have about half an hour left. So if you were doing this on your own and there wasn't all the talking, you definitely could belt this out in about half an hour. Like I said earlier, I did it in like 20 minutes, but that's just me. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add the binding. What I like to do is, how did I do this before? I think I just clipped it on and then I put it on with glue, and I'm going to use a couple of clips to hold it in place. I like to use fabric glue for a lot of things. It works really well when you're putting fabric on paper, or even other papers on different strength papers. This is, sorry, I digress, but look how cool that tape is. That was a chevron stencil, and I just did the black ink, and I'm in love. That might be my favorite one. I wish I made more. I'm going to go back and make more. And this is just the one like we just made. This is like the same paper, it's just smaller. The coffee dyed. Look at this. That's actually a coloring book page that was coffee dyed. How cool is that? When you knock things down from like super stark black and white and give it like a little bit of a tint to it, it could be any color. It doesn't have to be coffee. It really brings it to life. And this is such a really old piece of book. I wish you could feel it. It's like thick and soft, and I love it. I love the edges. So yeah, so this is the one we did earlier. I did the binding first, and then I put an image on the front. So let's go ahead and do the binding. And I'm going to pull out a couple of clips. I wish I had a few more of these guys sitting around, but they're over on the other side of the art room where everything else is. Oh, this will work just fine. Oh, perfect. Yay. Okay. Those I also got at a yard sale. These cool binder clips. They came in like a stationery set or something. Yeah, when I go to visit my family, we find all of the absolute best yard sales, and I leave there with, I tell you, just treasures. Lots and lots of treasures. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this a little bit smaller to make sure that it fits. So here's my fancy new pair of scissors. I'm going to cut this one right here. And you can also put, it's fun, you can also put these, pieces of fabric on like clips, on your paper clips and your binder clips. Like, I've showed you this 100 times, like how I have mine tied to my ruler. I love it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that, get you out of the way. I'm going to hold you right there, and I'm going to cut down a little bit. And, for future reference, I could probably make these strips a little bit wider, especially if I'm using for binding, but okay, cool. So that's where I want it, and that's where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bead of glue right here, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and clip it. So yeah, this glue is absolutely fascinating. I love it. Like you can use it for so much stuff. It smells, but lots of good art supplies like this, adhesives, are going to have a little bit of a smell to them. And that sticks on pretty pretty even. Oh, and another thing with this cardboard, this corrugated cardboard, it's got lines going straight, so it helps you line up your binding pretty well. I think that's pretty cool. So now I'm going to very carefully put this down. I don't want to do too much moving and shaking over here. Put a little bit on here. Coolness. Then I'm going to push it down. Kind of rub the glue down in there. And like I said, it's not 100% even top and bottom, but it's fine. It's good enough for me. I'm going to put you in the middle. Nice and slow. I don't want things to buckle. So I'm kind of pinching down real hard and holding on tight. I don't have to, but I just want to make sure nothing bubbles up. There we go. And this will dry like pretty much almost instantly. It's pretty awesome. So while this is drying, I will take a sip of my tea. I'm talking. What? Who's leaving for the what? The stage leaving for the west? I don't get it. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't catch that. So while we're letting this dry, Sharon said she just noticed her shirt's been on inside out all day. Oh my goodness gracious. I wore my pajamas all day till it's time to get ready. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. So now we're going to find a cover for this. You can do 101 things. You can find a magazine image. I'm going to show you right here. Let me move these out of the way. I don't need my cutters right now. This right here is a big bin. I have lots of bins, naturally. And this one has animals from magazines and calendars. And I just want to take a quick peek. I mean, you could even do something like that. I mean, it depends what kind of mood you're in. You know, if you're in a silly mood and you like dogs, I mean, that's just adorable. And then you can put like, you know, some of those Tim Holtz word stickers. I'm going to let that sit there. You guys can look at that happy little dog for a second while I'm dreaming up a plan over here. Oh my goodness. I love art so much. This is so fun. Look at, I mean, why not? Why not just make this a little journal full of adorable puppy dogs? And that is practically free. I think this was from a calendar. That was from one of those page a day calendars. And I keep all my calendars. I have calendars from like, 15 years ago, if you can believe it. 12, 15 years ago. I have birds in here. I have cats. What else do we have? Oh, CP puppies. Oh, I really like this cat. I do have a calico and I have a black cat just like this. This is Panther, even though it's from a calendar. And this would be Coco. K-O-K-O and Yum Yum. They come from a book that I read, a book series that I read. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so let's pretend that's going to be the cover for 1 second. I also have, like I said, I have these animal clusters. I don't know, excuse me. I love having everything organized, so when I go to make something, it's right there. Let's get these scissors out of the way. Get this out of the way. There we go. This would be cool. This lion, he says, be brave, stay strong, adventure awaits you. He's one of the clusters I made. He's a little too big, though, so I'm not feeling that. The fish is in the wrong direction. The bird's too big. I think a lot of these are just going to be too big, and I don't want to spend, you know, way too much time trying to decide. And my journal it's not going to be able to be turned, you know, like sideways. I don't want to, you know, sideways journal. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with this guy, and I'll show you how to add him on to make him look a little bit more fancy pants. Let's put my clusters in here. See, if I don't put these in here right away, they might land on my desk behind me, and who knows if I'll ever see them again. Okay. We'll put them on, and then I'm going to very quickly show you the staple and very quickly show you the tie binding. I like this guy the way he is. I'm going to go ahead and get one of those pieces of paper that I told you that was like a scrap. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. These are on my, oh, here we go. Okay. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I'm going to get a scrap. Let's see if it's wide enough. One of these scrappy doos. These are just like little scrap papers that I painted on. You know, I was just, you know, drawing lines and circles. That might actually be a cool cover too. Nope, sticking with the dog. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to make sure we have enough room for it here before we go ahead and do any gluing. I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit off the edge. Now you're going to measure. I'm just going to guesstimate here and just line it up and trim a little bit off. Okay. So he's going to be about this tall, right? That wide. Very good. He's going to be, where's my pencil? In the pile of stuff. I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge. He's going to be about that tall. So go ahead and cut that down. Yeah, you don't need a slicer, but if you have one, it just makes things so much more, user friendly. Is that the right size? Yay. Let's see if the dog fits. Does the dog fit? The dog is a little wide, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit. Now, this is the one where I actually tore, just holding on, this way. Nothing too fancy. We don't get too fancy in here. Well, not today anyways. There we go. And he's a little, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave him be. A little bit of that green just sticking out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and use I like the ink because it kind of knocks back that white edge. I'm going to go ahead and give him a little bit of ink on the edges. You can leave the white edge. It's up to you. Doing this as fast as I humanly possible so we can get on to the next journal. I hope you like this method. It's like I said, it's quick and easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue him to this cardboard. And I need my scrap magazine right here. We'll do that real quick. Glue on the back. Rawr. There we go. Just basic glue sticks, nothing fancy. Just as quick as possible so we can get moving here. Okay. That, and then we're going to put them on top of, where'd my paper go? There it is, right here. You can always go back and, round the edges. I do that on some of the bigger journals, but these small ones, I don't really worry about rounding the edges. He's a little off center, but that's okay. If you don't want any bubbles, you can use one of these little plastic tools. They have them at the dollar store. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this to kind of bring it all together. Later on, I can go back and I can ink all those edges. That's fine. But I can't ink this once it's glued down because it's glued down and you can't reach it. We could do one of two things. We can go ahead and glue them right on, or we can make them puff up a little bit. I want to make them kind of puff up and be a little bit dimensional. Speaking of dimensional, I have these, glue stick on the run. I have these adhesive foam tabs. I have some in a, what do you call it? I have these in my tape drawer. Pardon me for a second. These Crafter Square pop-up dot tape. These are fine too, but you have to tear them and cut them, and it gets a little frustrating. These were a gift to me on my last birthday from someone who knows how much I love making art. And these are awesome. They pop right off. I'll put one in the middle. You can use as many or as little as you. I want to make this, pretty sturdy, so I'm going to add pretty many. And then this just pops right off the covers. You can use tweezers to pull them off of your fingernails. I'm not super precious about my fingernails. There's a quick job to make them look healthy. I'm not worried about. Okay, so go ahead and I'll put that over there. Pull these guys off real quick. Now, the binding should be dry on this guy. So when it's time to put this on, I can pull off those clips and we should be okay. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you've been following, but I've been doing a portrait a day and I'm having so much fun. I mean, yes, I did get a degree in art, but if you don't practice, like I used to speak fluent Italian and now I can say "o fame," which means I'm hungry, right? So if you don't practice all the time, I'm just saying you're probably not going to be as good as you once were. Like I can write papers, but not like the papers that I wrote in college. It's like speaking another language, right? Okay, make sure this is right side up. Yeah, right side up. Okay. So this is right side up. That's right side up. Okay. And anyways, so I've been doing a portrait a day for fun, and I've been posting them in my shorts. In the shorts on YouTube, not shorts. There we go. Oh my goodness, look how cute that is. Are we in heaven or what? Is that the simplest, easiest, most inexpensive and cheap and fun and beginner friendly tutorial you've ever seen? Or is it just me? I love it. I got this stamp. Where did I put it? It's over here somewhere. Oh, here it is. When I went to Five Below once, and you can make it say anything. So I put my first initial and last name and 26 for the year. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And right here, I'm going to go ahead. Hopefully it'll stamp. I'm going to stamp on here. This is my, yeah, there we go. Put it right in the corner. Push down nice and hard. There we go. So it's got my name and the date. Very good. If you want, go ahead and continue decorating the front. I'm going to be done for today. I might go back in later and add, a couple little sentences from the Tim Holtz stickers. So I'm going to leave him here. And then before we go, I'm going to do a very quick, we have about 25 minutes. I'm going to do a very quick staple and then a very quick tie. Now I just have to find everything I had sitting out because you know what I did is I started piling it up. Oh, here they are right behind me. Okay. So for this one, I'm just going to do a quick staple and then I'm going to do the same kind of binding. I'm not going to add the binding right now because I want to add more pages to this. Does that make sense? And I can always, staple more because you won't see the staples. And this one is going to be tied off. So all I need to do is I'm going to do this like as fast as I've ever done anything in my life. Let me get this out of the way. It's so easy to just make piles of things. And then look at all these journals. I wish you could see all these cute little journals that I was working on. So fun. So fun. All handmade papers. One of those actually has, what do you call it? Where did my paper go? Oh, behind me. One of those actually has a piece of scrapbook paper and an old children's book image on the front. I really like that one. Okay. So these should fit right inside. Are they the same size? Yay, these fit right in. So I'm just going to do a couple. Going to push down here. And then I'm going to make them all the same just for the sake of time. And I can go back in later and add more. Wow, this paper is really fun. Oh my goodness. Yay, and it smells yummy. Okay, so one inside the other. And this is the easiest. If you have a long arm stapler, it's the absolute easiest. If you don't have a long arm stapler, you can put this on something soft like a mouse pad and just take your stapler and like how they do in bulletin boards at schools, like up against the wall. You push down here, here, and here, flip it over, and then pull down your tabs. But I like to do, I got this with a gift card from Amazon, and I really like using my long arm stapler. So I'm going to slide this over, and I need to decide, without spilling my tea, if I want the staples to be on the outside or the inside. Okay, I want the staples, the prongs to be on the outside because I'll be covering it. I don't want them to be on the inside. So as best I can, I'm going to line this guy up. Hopefully I have it at the right setting. Yes, I do. And you can always clip it to make sure he doesn't move. This is probably a good idea. We'll clip it to make sure he doesn't move. I'm going to try to line it up right on that crease. And then it's pressed down. Very good. And then I'm going to give it a little pinch there. Repeat. Like I said, this is so quick and simple. But if you don't have one of these, you can use a regular stapler and just put on something soft. And there we go. Ta-da! I'm going to open it up, rub everything down, make sure it's in the right spot. What happened? I missed a guy. What did I do? Well, I didn't put one inside the other. That's what happened. Like I said, I'm trying to go fast. Make sure this is nice and even. Make sure this is nice and even. There you go. Ta-da! There's your staple. And then on the outside, you'll be able to see the staples coming through, but I'm going to cover that with some of that cloth. And then I'm going to go back and I didn't Mod Podge this, so some things are sticking up, but I'll go over it and put that down later. So that's staple. This one, I'm just going to go ahead and cut a piece off because we are in a bit of a hurry. And I can make it a certain size later, but for right now, I just want to get moving here. And like I said, this is a scrap. So I'm not too, this is so cute. It has stamps on it from when I was cleaning off my stamps. This binding got a little crack because this is really old, watercolor paper, but we're going to cover that anyway. So don't sweat it if your binding gets a little cracked. So this is going to be the tie method. And I'm going to go ahead and find a couple pieces that'll fit. Now for this one, I think it would be fun if I use some of the bright papers that we just made, because why not, right? So I could use something like this. And I can fold it in half. And I don't know how wide it is. And then we can tear these down. So there's one. Hey, why not use this one too? This is kind of fun, right? Go ahead and put this one in, bend this one in half. I still think it's funny that you notice your shirt was on inside out all day. Oh, what's this one? I really like this one. Hold on. Give me a second. They're all kind of stuck together. Well, they're not stuck together. They're just there we go. I like this one a lot. So do this one. Okay. Let's do the pink, blah, 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 yellow, pink. So we'll start with this one. Then we'll do yellow. And then actually I'm going to do some teal because those are the three best colors right there. What do you think? Teal, peach, or pink, and that That mustard color. Oh, I love it. I love it. This color of my dress. All right, let's get you out of the way. Let's get you out of the way. There you go. Things are starting to get piled up over here, but that's okay. There we go. We don't need you right now. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put these all together, and then I'm going to tear them because I'm going to be, okay, so I'm going to hold this right. This can be pretty much close to the edge because, do I want to tear or cut? I'm going to cut these. I'm going to go ahead and cut these. Let me get my slicer. Okay, I'm going to mark how tall it is. Always make sure you have a pencil. Okay, I don't want to have white on the top and the bottom, so I'm going to kind of move it down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my line right here and then put my line right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and slice these guys. I'm going to keep them all together. I should be able to cut through with my paper slicer, which keeps moving. Everything keeps like migrating around the room. There we go. As I knock everything down. Okay, keep the lines together, Patricia. There we go. I'm not aiming for perfection right now. I'm just trying to give you a really quick idea of what all these look like with the different methods. Okay, are you lined up? Are we good? Are we good? Camera 1, camera 2. There we go. Good enough. Slice away. Look at that. Easy peasy. Hold them nice and tight together so they don't flop all over the place. Find your line. Line it up. Where did I put my line? Let's see. Right about here. I'm good. Cool. Okay, do that. Nice. Fold them in half, and then we're going to have to cut the edges off, but we can do that. Look how pretty these are. You can use these for bookmarks, anything. And I probably shouldn't save everything, but hey, you know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. Now, when you shut it, it pushes the paper out a little bit, so you got to give it a little, cut it a little bit shorter than you normally would, if that makes sense. There's my line. Line it right up on here. There we go. And then we'll do the same on this edge. Are we fancy or what here? We're just going through the motions trying to get this guy done. Oh, we got plenty of time. Cool. Ta-da! Now, here's our quick little, probably kind of crooked booklet, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right. I'm sorry. I love these so much. I want you to see them like all at once, but I know that's impossible. So we'll give you these guys. Look at that little guy. We should name him. What should we name him? Boots. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the thing where I clip it. You can always trim this down. I will finish this later, so you will see it. I love how fun. Look at the little stamps. There's like a little, what is it, elephant and a coffee cup and a bird from a stamp set that I had. When I do stuff like that, I look back and I go, oh, I remember when I used, fill in the blank, those stamps for that project or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to put one on either side, top and bottom. Now, the fun thing with this method is you can continue to add pages or take pages out if you make a mistake. So with this, what is this called anyways? It's like jewelry, stretch magic. I have no idea where I got it. I'm sure someone gave it to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, how many lengths should I do? 1, 2. I'm going to do 3 lengths just to be safe. And there might be a better way to do this. That's fine. What I'm going to do is I just thought about this to keep this where I want it to stay. I'm going to put a little piece of tape. Why not use one of my little pieces of tape that I just had out, even though I buried it again? I'm just going to take off a piece of this masking tape. And it's not going to live there forever. I'm just going to hold the string in place. So that way it's not flopping all over the place. So let's keep this kind of, did I leave myself enough to tie? I probably didn't. And that's okay. We can always go back and get more. You can even leave that tape there. I mean, seriously, this is like a junk journal. You can make these journals fancy or junk. Junk like people like to glue in receipts and stuff from restaurants and banana stickers and all that great stuff. I did that like a million years ago. And then now it's like a thing, which is kind of cool. But I had mine from like a long time ago. And yeah, so this is probably not exactly long enough if I want to keep adding pages. And it can get a little weird trying to tie it, but just tie a knot and then add your papers. It'd be nice if I had a finger here, another person's finger to help me hold this down, but you got to do what you got to do. You can use regular string. You can use embroidery thread. This is just It's very slippery. Give me a second. You know what? Why not tape that down? Why not make up the rules as we go, huh? Why not? It's our art room. It's our journal. All right, there we go. I just don't want to pull so tight that it tears into the paper cover. There we go. At least I can hold it down for a second. Ah, there we go. Pull tight. We got it. Now I can get rid of that tape in a minute. That probably wasn't the best example for us, but that's just doing it like on the fly. Very cool. We'll take these off. And I'm probably going to go ahead and later figure this spot out because he's making me a little uncomfortable. Have you ever done the binding tie? I've done it before. I think with this guy. And it worked out pretty well. I tied him on the outside. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it went better. Tying him on the outside. This is a lot of fun. There's so many other techniques too. Like you can use a piece of tape and pull off images off of books. Oh my goodness. So many things. See? That's tape and paper. Anyways, I digress. Okay. So yes, this actually, maybe I can spin it around. No, it's digging in. That's good for now. Okay. So best method so far was the, go through this together, was the tape method. And it's so easy to work with. I don't have to fight with any of the pages. They open pretty well. I can see myself adding so many fun things to this. And I do random additions. I don't have like one that I sit down and do every day. Some journals have, like maybe this one will be all about dogs or something, you know, since there's a dog on the cover. And then this one, maybe it'll be all about flowers because it has a flower on the cover. It doesn't have to be. It could be whatever you like. My friend just sent me a really pretty card today. I might want to put that in one of these. I mean, these are kind of tiny for that, but I really like this one because everything is like too tall and too wide. And it has so many different techniques in it. This is a sticker sheet of labels. And when I was done using the little circle stickers, I took this sticker sheet and I put it on a piece of one of the laminate sheets and then I painted it. So that's over there. So you can tear that off. I stamped on it. You can use that in your art. This was a lantern, a round lantern I inked up and I rolled it on there. Just, you know, some little sayings, coffee papers, more stamps that I made. Like, I love it. Little tiny pieces that you could throw in the garbage. But I didn't. I saved them. And then that's just a scrap piece of paper right there. And what else do we have? This is more coffee paper. This is so cute. I cut an oval out and I put a bird underneath it. That one says believe in yourself. I really like the pages that tell me to believe in myself and, you know, don't fear and have hope. And this was a scrap piece of paper that like I said earlier, I found all the scraps and I painted all over them and I splattered paint and I stamped on them. And then I punched circles out of them to use in other projects. And that is gorgeous. I'm going to teach you how to do that. That's a label, the circle labels that I painted with matte black. And then I stamped copper on top and all these little scraps together. I mean, and there's another little bird. And this is the fabric that I told you about. And I just put it on the paper clip just for fun. And it keeps going. And, you know, creativity takes courage to be yourself. And look at how fun that is. Little scraps. I took a circle sticker and I punched a hole in it and I just put it in there. And I did the same with the magenta ones. And that's a homemade stamp. This is washi paper right here that I made, or washi tape paper. And then this is scrap. This was underneath something and I just put it in there. So these little journals you don't have to think too much. You can think as much or as little as you want. You know, all the effort. You don't have to think. I love, 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 love. And I love that this is hanging over the bottom. And it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And the word on the front is strong, like be strong. This is a scrap from a piece of tablecloth that I turned into some ornament or something. I don't even remember. Okay, we have 10 minutes left. So there's that one. Let's see. This one I might as well give you a flip through. And then we can talk about next week. This one I might have showed you before, but it's a piece of grocery bag. And it's very thick because I finger painted everything. The flowers, the background. And then same papers today. We use today. The calendar, I showed you this one from before. Liner paper. That's a book page that I painted on. Scraps. And I just love flipping through this. I don't even need to add anything to it. This is just a runoff from my brayer. Look at more scrap. And that's lace. I was painting lace for some reason. And this is an absolute scrap with just stamps on it. So anything you have lying around can be turned into something beautiful. And that's just, it's taking a paintbrush and just splashing it on the paper. You don't have to spend a lot of money. We have everything we need. Any kind of papers you can transform into something beautiful. Painting it, stamping on it, tearing it up, making it into something else. I wish I had that thing right next to me because I would love to show you. Oh, I have this. At least I have this next to me. This is what I was telling you about. That see the sticker paper without the little labels? I painted on top of it. And I put it on top of this old plastic bag from somewhere. So whenever I want, I could pull it off. Excuse me. And put it in a journal. How cool is that? It can be waste, or you can turn it into art. It's whatever you want to make it. So, yeah, I don't have that other thing right next to me, but yeah, so that was that journal. So these are the same papers. These are all the same papers. So when I go back and forth between journals, I don't have to rethink because the color scheme, like what did I mention? Teal, magenta, gold, black and white. This is fun, like homemade stamps. I just took a little, I don't have it next to me. At the Dollar Tree, they have packs of erasers, like, 5 or whatever for $1.25. And I just draw on them, and I have flowers, hearts, arrows, trees, coffee cups. This I Posca pen wrote all over it and splattered paint. These are stencils, like little pockets. Isn't that great? I love these. So what do you think? Do you have any favorites that we did tonight? This is a runoff. That's tracing paper. Do you have any favorites? Anything that we did tonight? Did you like the washi tape? Did you like the coffee dyed papers? This right here is a seal. I love trees. That's a tree of life. I did that separately, and then I glued it on, I hot glued it on. Yeah, so I will not, these are pockets. Spend too much more time. I just wanted to show you that anything you have lying around. And you'll notice too, like even this chevron, I've done it before, but in gold. And sometimes I find, oh, I haven't used that in a while. And then I surprise myself by how much that I like it, And I think that's it. This one also, look, has the corrugated cardboard cover. I put some string on there. Just little scraps. There's like a, how to make a dress pattern or whatever. There you go. Everything we have can be transformed into something beautiful. And you can keep them for yourself. You can give them as gifts. The things that, you don't always have to give things away. I have a hard time with that because, if I love something, I think, oh, I should give this to so-and-so. So don't be afraid to keep stuff that you make for yourself. But it's also good to share with your friends too, because I do know that when people share their art with me and when I share my art with them, it's just really awesome. And I know I'm rambling, but so the least successful journal tonight, because I did this one in such a hurry, was the tie method. And I will go back and I will redo this one. And for next week, when we're adding decorations to our journals, I'm going to show you a few different things you can make to add to your journals that you can have always on hand, kind of like the washi tape. I will show you this one finished. So this one is our finished one for tonight. So I hope you like it. We're going to name him Boots, or what do you think? Hershey? I don't know. He needs a name. So anyways, okay. I keep looking at the thing, and it's the comments, and it says that Sharon had her shirt on inside out all day. That makes me feel better about my life today. Don't forget to put your lid on your glue when you're all done. Well, I hope you had fun. I'm going to move this camera up now. Welcome back. I hope you had fun. Which was your favorite? This one might be my favorite. And then I absolutely love the one with the dog on it. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. Oh, one last thing you can use for a journal cover. I just thought of it because I saw the card sitting there. You can use like blank greeting cards or greeting cards that aren't blank, that have like a fun image on the front that you like, maybe means something to you, and you can use a greeting card for one of your covers. That would work out really well. And then if you don't want people to see if there's any special like message inside, just put something over it or tape or clip or something. So I'm so glad you joined me tonight. I look forward to Thursdays. There's a highlight of my week. I fingers crossed more people get to join in and we can share this growing arts community together. I know that it just means the world to me. I love teaching. I can't imagine my life without art. I can't imagine my life without teaching. And I'm so glad you've joined with me in this little, tutorial every Thursday. And make sure you go on my channel, my YouTube channel, Parent Paper Street, and look at the shorts, some little, quick ideas. Mostly I've been doing my portraits. If you want a good laugh, go look at the portraits because from one to the next, I just have like so many different personalities. Bye. I'm glad you got to join. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so the portraits are fun. I'm getting better. One day they might actually look like me. But until then. So thanks for joining. I hope to see you next Thursday. We're going to continue working on these journals. We're going to learn how to do washi tape. We're going to learn how to paint labels. So things that you can add to your journals. I kind of want to keep it consecutive. So all the lessons kind of build on one to the next. And one day down the road, maybe in a month or so, we can do some painting together. There are some artists that I like to kind of emulate, especially Van Gogh. Maybe we can do something Van Gogh-ish. So please, if you want to support this artist community, like, subscribe, share with as many people as you know. You never know that one person out there, this might be the thing that they needed on Thursday night and every other Thursday for the rest of their lives. So thanks again. You're the best. Hope to see you next Thursday. Ciao for now.